I'm Christy. Today I want to talk to you about work options. So moving on to work or employment opportunities brings up another whole set of concerns and issues. How do I find a job for my loved one? Where can I look? Can he interview effectively? Will they hire him anyway? And the list goes on. My mind has this amazing ability to find every possible bunny trail and to follow it and try and find an answer. Except that, in this case, there aren't necessarily a lot of answers to be found. So, I've been fortunate enough, though, to have a teacher who happily guided me along the path and helped connect me to key people who are in positions to assist me along this journey. Let me share part of our journey in the hopes that it'll give you some ideas for your loved one. Let me start by talking about different types of work environments. This can be slightly confusing at first, but at least in our area, there are two different types of work environments we have to consider for AJ: competitive wage or sheltered environment. Jobs in the competitive wage category are jobs that anybody can obtain. They're not designed for individuals with special needs. But if an individual with special needs is capable of working independently enough and can learn the requirements to complete all the tasks of the job, they can be hired. Now, the advantages of this kind of job include things like benefits, like retirement and insurance, higher pay, more independence, and more options in more companies. For many individuals, the biggest question is whether or not they're high functioning enough to learn the job and complete it with a high enough level of competence to keep the job. If they are, this can be a great option. On the other end of the spectrum, sheltered environment work is for individuals with special needs who need more supervision to complete the tasks. They're able to work and complete tasks, but not with the level of independence required for competitive wage work. In our area, many, and possibly all, I'm not sure, of the sheltered environment jobs are with supervisors who only work with individuals with special needs. I've been told that many of these situations will have a group of 8 or 10 workers with the supervisor present at all times. For example, if they're doing custodial work, they'll go into an office building and begin cleaning. I think each person has their own set of tasks to perform and can work more independently as they prove they're capable and trustworthy. The supervisor is around to answer questions and to keep everyone focused on their tasks, and then they make sure that the work is completed to a satisfactory level. Now, I've been advised to begin job hunting for AJ. We have just under 2 years before he ages out of the program that he's in, but I've been informed that most individuals find a job well before they age out. So, since it can take a while to find the right fit, I've been advised to start looking now. Our first hurdle is to decide which type of work best suits AJ. We haven't ruled out a competitive wage job, but we're also not totally sure that he's quite ready for that level of independent work. Honestly, the paranoid mom part of me kind of likes the idea of putting him in a sheltered environment. This means everywhere he goes, it's a well-known fact that he has special needs, and there's not the expectation that he's capable of more than he's able to perform or complete. And he has someone around to help him if he struggles with any part of the job. Now, on the other hand, I don't want to limit what he's capable of achieving. And the idea that he could get a job with his own insurance and retirement plan, that's simply amazing to me. And it wasn't even an inkling in my mind as an option for him until just a year or two ago. So I found myself in quite a quandary. And I'm going to have to rely on those evaluating AJ to help me make this decision. Now, I'm also aware that should we decide on a sheltered environment, this is not a guarantee that he will be there for the rest of his life. It may be that he just needs a little bit of real world experience and more time to grow and mature, and then he'll be ready for a competitive wage job. So, where am I turning to find the assistance I need to help AJ find a job? I can think of 3 places that I'll be contacting in the near future. The first is the Bureau of Vocational Rehabilitation, also known as Voc Rehab or BVR. Now, AJ already has an open case with them. In fact, we received a letter from them over Christmas saying they needed to update his information. So I'll be contacting them and set up an appointment, and I'll be asking about possibilities with them. Now, I know that they can help us find a competitive wage job, and they provide extra training and support for a period of time to help make the transition. I'm not sure how much they do with sheltered environment work. Now, for the record, the BVR is our local organization that finds work if you need to be trained or retrained into a new field. They also work with individuals like AJ who are just entering the workforce and need extra assistance. Over on the blog, I have a link where I've talked about them before. This post originally posted in March of 2020. You can find it at www.havenofhopeforme.com. Now, another organization I'm going to talk to is the Desert Regional Center, or DRC. They're our local gatekeeper organization. And again, I've got a link in the blog to them where I talked about them before. We already have an open case with them as well. So I just need to contact our caseworker and update her. Now, I think they work mostly in the sheltered environment area. But again, I'm not completely sure. So I'll be asking what industries they have contacts in and what's available for AJ and see what she recommends. The final organization, and maybe in some ways the most important one, is Opportunity Village. And they, specifically at Opportunity Village, his current work skills supervisor, or previous supervisors that he's had. He's worked for 3 different supervisors so far in this program, and he had another one that he did a 4-week evaluation with a couple summers ago. And he'll also have 2 more rotations in this job skills program that he's in that we can talk to as time progresses. We do receive weekly reports on his performance at work, and my hope is that these reports will help the supervisors know the best type of work environment for him and make a recommendation. So the short version is that I'll be contacting these 3 caseworkers and get their input on where we should focus on finding a job for AJ. If we decide on a sheltered environment, I have a couple organizations in mind that may be good options for him. If we decide on a competitive wage job, well, I'm going to be relying a lot on these other organizations because I have no idea where to even start. Now, one of my first questions will be if they can find anything in the automotive industry, because, as I mentioned before, AJ loves all things vehicular. And we know that this would be it's his first choice, and it would be a really good fit for him, and it would keep his attention for a longer period of time, we believe. But we're not sure if it's really a realistic option. Now, one suggestion that's been given to me is to see if maybe he could do smog checks at one of our local DMVs. So I'll be asking about that. Now, my other concern is the interview process. I'm not sure that AJ is yet to the level where he could interview effectively. Now, the advantage of working with these organizations is that they can go through alternate channels to help secure the job for him with less, if any, formal need for an interview. Now, I realize that this post is focused specifically on our journey, but my hope is that it gives you an idea of what types of options and organizations are available so that you can look in your area. I hope that it provides a framework to begin to ask questions for your loved one. Now, while the specifics will change from area to area, the basics, type of work, organizations to assist you, that kind of thing, should be available in most areas. Now, I have a friend who has a son who's about a year older than AJ. He recently got his first job after completing a similar work skills program. They assisted him in finding the job. Now, while he did have to formally interview for the job, which Mama was super nervous about, and I totally understand why, he did get the job. And I think that it's working out well for him. I share this story to help you see that it is possible to successfully make the transition to working, something that I'm taking a whole lot of comfort in right now. So my question for you this week is this. Have you found a job for your loved one? What process did you go through? I'd love to hear about your experiences. You can leave me a comment below, or you can leave me a comment over on the blog. Again, that's at www.havenofhopeforme.com. This originally posted in March of 2020. As always, I'd appreciate it if you'd share this with anybody you think would find it helpful. I'd love to help as many families as I can. Sign-up lists are available over on the website. Signing up lets you know about all newly released content and new products as soon as they're available. I'm so grateful that I don't have to find a job for AJ all by myself, so that I can continue to say that life is good and there is never a dull moment.